Hi, I'm Joe Padilla and I'm with the Grace Alliance. So for this support video for our Grace Group facilitators, I want to answer the question, what do you do when you finish the Grace Group? Especially if you've been through the curriculum about 2 to 3 times over and you're wanting something new. Now, as you know, in 2020, we are going to release a new workbook that's going to help with that experience. However, for right now, here are some helpful ideas. So the first idea is what many groups are already doing, and that is using our Thrive workbook. They're going from a Grace group to a Thrive group. And what Thrive is it's a self-directed whole health workbook for having resilient hearts and minds. This is actually the curriculum we created years ago as a part of our coaching program, but the demand was overwhelming, and so we turned it into a self-directed workbook for anybody to have. So, and what it does is it breaks it down from the physical, mental, spiritual, and relational areas of our lives, and then you can work on those areas. Now, what your group can do is you can just pick a section or just different topics that your group would like to do together. Just follow the format, and really it just becomes a great resource that you guys can get into more specifics. Now, another creative idea is what we see other groups also doing, and that is they're using our blogs as group topics. So what you can do is look through our blogs and pick out the different ones that seem interesting that your group would like to go through, and actually ask them what blogs they would like to discuss in the actual group. And when you have the group, it's a pretty good idea that you have some sort of guided questions so that you just show up and it's like, okay, now what do we talk about? So one idea is to follow what I call the IPA Principle, and that is interpret, perspective, and apply, and using those types of questions. And so what that means is the interpret would be more like question 1 would be, what are 1 to 2 things you found interesting in this blog? And they're getting to interpret what they read. And then you move to a perspective question, and that is, how does this change your view of God and your situation? And then, of course, an apply question. What are ways that we can incorporate or apply these principles or these concepts or ideas into our lives and our situations? And that's an easy way to use the blogs for group topics. And another idea that you can do is use meaningful scriptures. And what you can do is get a group together and ask, what are the meaningful scriptures in your lives, the ones that you hang on to for every day, for strength, for renewal, for grace, and just kind of collect all those together, and then just use 1 or 2 as your group topic. And again, use the IPA principle for guided questions. And so that would be like question 1, why is it so helpful? Why is this scripture so helpful and meaningful to you? And then number 2, it's kind of a perspective. How has it changed your view of God and your situation? And number 3, again, an apply question. What are practical ways that we can incorporate this into our lives and into our situations? Again, another simple way to use scriptures, meaningful scriptures, as group topics. And lastly, what you can do is just pick other resources, whether that's a Bible study or a wellness guide or something, some sort of curriculum or a guide that your group can follow and keep moving forward. And of course, everyone is excited about it. So they just finding those resources and then just see if the group is interested to do them together. Well, I hope that's helpful with some creative ideas for your group. And if you have questions about your Grace group, please feel free to email us and we'll try to answer those in future videos. And lastly, you guys are amazing, so just keep serving and loving people well.